So we are going to start now today's bonus session, the second bonus session. This bonus session is planned just just to ensure that whenever you are going to face an interview in future, you should be having some kind of additional knowledge with you in that interview. Because when it comes to the competition or when it comes to the regular knowledge, let's say the things like trigger, apex, workflow rule, etc., etc., then in this case it may happen that the way you have knowledge, the way various people also may be having the knowledge of similar type. So in this case, it will become a very easy thing for the interviewer to select you only because you will be having some kind of additional knowledge here, and with this he can actually take a better decision to go with you, or let's say to uh, select you in the interviews. And this happened in the past many times with my other batch students as well, where because of this additional knowledge they got good results in the interview. So let's plan the same thing, and there are some latest thing which is also there in the Salesforce, which is actually useful for future purpose. As of now, it's not so popular in the market, but it is good for your knowledge for future purpose. So let's talk about that, and let's use this kind of knowledge in the interview process, or let's say presenting ourselves. So here, first of all, we are going to talk about few things. One is something related to uh, IOT, that is the upcoming thing or something which Salesforce is planning for the future. And second thing, which is we are going to see useful information about the Salesforce Wave Analytics, which is also called as Einstein Wave Analytics. So let me tell you something about that also. For this also, you can just keep some information in the mind, so that's also going to help you. Okay, so let's talk about this one by one. It's something which is not available for free. uh, for example, IoT, and it needs paid edition, it needs lots of tools, etc., etc. It's a complete vast section of Salesforce. Even Salesforce Einstein, Einstein Analytics is also something, a very vast segment of Salesforce, something which may take maybe 1 2 months for you to learn. But anyways, that is not our agenda. Our agenda is to have some kind of additional knowledge about these things also, which you can take the benefit of in the interviews. So let's talk about this. So let's talk about, first of all, the thing called as IoT. So please note, you might have heard this word already if you are having, or if you are, let's say, in connection with the upcoming things or upcoming trends of the market. So please note that IoT is called as Internet of Things, where actually we try to connect all those regular day-to-day life devices or things with the internet. So just to understand or just to get the idea about this is in terms of the background. So IoT, which is also called as Internet of Things, is a process by which we connect everything related to our day to day life with internet and try to control or use them. So for example, let's say in current situation, Or let's say in the past you have, let's say you're going outside, and let's say you started your journey, and let's say after moving 10-15 kilometers you realize, oh, the fan in the kitchen is on, the fan is on, I forgot to switch off the fan. You will come back from that location and come to home and switch off the fan because no one is there in the home, and you will come back and you will go again to the journey with going through this kind of difficulties. But now, or maybe in future, you will also have the same technology in your house where just you will send an SMS to the fan's intelligent system, fan off. That's it. This way, we communicate with our devices by using a specific language, not Apex by the way, or by using a specific mechanism by which these can also, the fan, the, let's say the fan, let's say the tube light, let's say fridge, let's say AC, they will understand our language, and that is what something is making a very big buzz in the industry, because in upcoming days you are going to see everything coming in your house in the same way. Maybe after 4 or 5 years you will see your fan, your TV, everything is having internet attached with that. So this actually is same functionality used in Salesforce, and in Salesforce we call it as a thunder. So uh, this is used by many technologies in market, and Salesforce did the same and came with product called as thunder. Okay, so by which now we can also get connected with various devices and all, and whatever customers are there in the Salesforce world, Salesforce trying to give them all these benefits. So Salesforce is to store the data, like this helps Salesforce to, one, store the data, lots of information Salesforce keep on taking by such kind of devices, and also process the data. So by processing the data, Salesforce can take also some decisions, and according to that, Salesforce can do the needful activities. So for this Salesforce usage, use a kind of Thunder engine, which is a very powerful, strong, real-time processing engine. So Salesforce uses Thunder engine, which is a powerful uh, processing uh, engine for processing all data coming to Salesforce by these uh, real time devices, and Salesforce will take decision. For example, let's say Salesforce is actually giving the service to, for example, an hospital, okay, which Salesforce is by the way doing already in the hospitals, because there are various products of Salesforce or various facilities in Salesforce by which you can run hospital business or hospital service on Salesforce platform. Now let's say Salesforce is using or giving support for any hospital. Let's say tomorrow, let's say there is a patient is sitting on sleeping on the bed, and let's say it's a kind of night time, and let's say the blood pressure of that customer became, or that or patient became low, and let's say now, let's say it's night time, so no one is coming time to time or regularly to check the status. Now in this case, Salesforce as it's giving the service to the hospital by its application, the way we have seen in our entire syllabus. Same way, just different objects, different tables, different fields which is suitable for any hospital. So in this, Salesforce may pick automatically a user who is responsible for, or let's say who is responsible for this patient, and Salesforce may automatically send one notification, may SMS, or maybe can send some kind of email or maybe automated call to that doctor that the patient's BP is low. Go and check to the doctor, to the patient. So here, as of now, Salesforce is already giving this business application for all these businesses. Now, just the next step it will take is to connect them with the IoT also. So this is the reason Salesforce jumped in the IoT race, where already many companies are working for their own business. The machinery companies are trying to connect with machineries by IoT. The AC manufacturing company already connected with, or they already started the service also by which we can control the AC by SMS and etc. You might have seen some kind of ad by nowadays by Amitabh Bachchan. There was one ad by I think what's that AC company? Or something like that. I forgot the AC name. So nowadays we can even control our AC by our SMS and etc. There, it's it's connected to the internet. So yeah, so such kind of many companies are there. I think higher or some kind of companies are there. So by which they already started the market. Now Salesforce also jumped into the market because Salesforce realized we are already having big setup. Already we are having almost 1.5 lakhs customer in the world. Now we just need to connect them into IoT and make their life more simple. And that is the reason this is something a buzzing word in Salesforce industry. Because in upcoming years, you will also see there are so many jobs will be available with the knowledge of IoT. Now it's almost negligible. Hardly anyone is looking for IoT guys, but in future you will see slowly we will get lots of opportunities for IoT, and that is the reason we here conducted this bonus session by which you will get some kind of idea about the future thing. And also you can say in interview, I have some kind of idea about this and I am interested to work on this. If they ask you some kind of overview questions, you can easily answer them by understanding today's session, and this way you can jump two steps ahead than the other competitors in the market for you. So this is what something is Salesforce trying to achieve. Let me go for next thing. And please note that it's collectively collection of various application development component, and it's going to provide some kind of features etc. by which we can perform the activities, like for example we can work on the real-time process, data entry etc etc. Let me tell you all these things, how actually we can perform this activity. So now this Thunder engine is going to it's a collection of various application development components, and by which we can let me mention here, vendor contains various application building components by which we can empower the the system. Like we can do lots of things here. We have lots of tools etc etc by which we can perform this activity. Everything is by the way here paid, and this service which something very few companies are using nowadays, they are using and trying to see how they can make their system better. Now what it will do actually is it will try to gather the information from various websites, customers application, devices, and give the response on that. So this targets to take continuous continuous data from websites, customers or customer applications, devices in real time mode. Means continuously to take some data, and then when you think, oh, now it's a time to give me some response, then gives response on some specific event. And this is what actually the target of this IoT devices are. Patient BP low, call doctor. The device is getting heated, send email to the owner of the device. Or let's say the machinery, or let's say the plane, it's having some issue in the system, automatically capture the information in Salesforce, take some notification, and make one urgent email to the pilot, for example. So like this we can do lots of things, and already in this market Salesforce started working on such kind of possibilities, but not so full-fledged way. It's like working in a taking the baby steps right now. In future you will see almost in all Salesforce customers business domain we can use IoT. There is a question in the chat box, let me see. So there is a question about Salesforce used in tourism industry like traveling or cruise ship. So as of now, Salesforce is being used as a regular business application, the typical business application, where not only in tourism or traveling business you can use in any business. The regular pattern is same, which is available in all the businesses: data entry, data display. That's it. So the 90% the use case of Salesforce is same, because every industry needs data entry, data display, and that is the reason I told you that in the previous session, that when actually you are going to present any project, your non-Salesforce project also, you are going to say that I did in Salesforce. It's very simple, because you know that in every application, in every business, you have data entry, data display. That's it. And for that, we already have the options like Salesforce. We can standard object, custom object, relationship, or let's say you have Visual Force pages, Apex classes, triggers, workflows. Everything is there, which you can easily connect to any business. So Salesforce is being also used by industries of tourism to enter the customers' data, to make various marketing campaigns by using some paid services like B2B business, B2C marketing campaign, automatic SMS, automatic email, etc. etc. And this way, the traveling business is also taking the benefit of Salesforce facilities, because it's having lots of useful features. As of now, there is no dedicated product of Salesforce for tourism industry. Just for your information, Salesforce having dedicated product for health industry, insurance industry, finance industry, sales industry, service industry, marketing industry, but no such dedicated product for tourism industry as of now. Dedicated product for schools are there, colleges, universities, all available, but not for tourism as of now. Maybe in future. Salesforce is also planning more new things, which you can see in upcoming days. Next, there is a question about Thunder engine. So it's very simple. If you are interested to connect with any real life device, you are not working only on the software world, you want to connect with your real life devices, you need to go for IoT. If you are going for your IoT, then automatically the device will be, or the engine will be by default available. You worked on the Salesforce, and you internally worked on the platform called as force.com platform. You purchase Salesforce, the platform is by default available for you. You work on Lightning, the Aura framework is by default available for you. So you go for a service of IoT, pay money to Salesforce, the Thunder engine automatically available for you if you are interested to get connected with the real life devices. So this depends what you want to do. Just a typical software data entry, data display, then go for Salesforce. regular pattern. If you want to do something more, then go for this IoT kind of things. Okay, I hope you got the answer. So let me go for the next point. And here, so because of this, uh, here now let's talk about scope of IoT. So please note, as IoT is a buzzword in industry, and as Salesforce is already a market leader with huge customer base, Salesforce thought to take advantage of this setup and wanted to go with this boom of IoT and also reach in depth of data analysis services to give better results to the client. And that is the reason, hence, Salesforce made entry in IoT. Otherwise, Salesforce is having no connection with IoT. Salesforce is just a CRM, or let's say business application. But the biggest advantage of Salesforce is, or let's say a biggest advantage for people like you and me is, Salesforce, whenever it's going to actually see anything which is in trending format in market, whenever Salesforce will see, okay, this is something new in market, or this can help our customer, Salesforce jumps into that. For example, there was something called as a wearable device. Salesforce jumped in the market. There is something which is related to, let's say, for example, Internet of Things. Salesforce jumped in the market. There is something related to wearable device. Salesforce jumped in the market. The flexible websites, Salesforce entered. There is something about wearable device, data science, Salesforce entered. So this way, whatever new things come, Salesforce enters, and because of that, what happens? It becomes very easy for us to be connected with latest technologies. Okay, now just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, guys. Actually, you have to wait for long. Sorry for that. We'll do one thing. So, as it's already late for us, we'll do one thing. Now, it's almost 8 o'clock in India. So I will come back around 9 o'clock. There was some urgent call and some urgent things to do. So I'll come back around 9 o'clock. Anyone can join the session. It's okay. Anyways, it's a bonus session. So it's not something about your syllabus. So if you can join at 9 o'clock. Otherwise, anyways, I will record the session and I will send them to you. Okay. So we'll join after 1 hour. If you can join in India, you can join by the way, no problem. But if you're in USA, then you have some time issue possibly. So just decide and see. We just need half an hour more. Okay. So we'll meet at 9 o'clock India time. I'm signing off. Let's meet at 9 o'clock.